Hello, and welcome again to Navajo County Connection. I'm David Tenney, member of the Navajo County Board of Supervisors representing District 4, and my co-host, as always.
Hey David, it's good to see you. I'm Donna Faye Weitsinger from Navajo County as well.
Glad to be here with you again.
Good to be here with you.
All right, well, a good show here today. We've got some good guests, and this is kind of right in your wheelhouse. I know when you first came on the board, Donna Faye, one of the things that we talked about in the show that kind of introduced you to everybody was the Sunrise Ski Park and the wonderful ski resort for our area. And you're on the board there, and so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So why don't you take a minute and introduce our guests, since you brought them.
Great, great. Well, as Supervisor Tenney said, I've had the opportunity to serve on the Sunrise Board for quite some time, and through that we've been searching for a new general manager. And for the community, that's a big deal in a sense that, you know, new leadership brings new opportunities and new vision and new, I guess, support for the community. Right. So we're happy to introduce Mr. Brian Purcell, our new general manager. And we also have Bill London, who's been with Sunrise for
a long time, over 20 years. So good morning.
And he is our assistant general manager.
Yeah. Operations, you bet.
And we're happy to have you both.
Well, thank you very much. It's exciting to be here.
Welcome to the program, and Brian, welcome to the area.
Thank you.
God's country, as we like to call it.
Beautiful area up here. Very, very fortunate to be up in this type of an area.
All right, well, why don't we get started, if we can, with the both of you. Why don't we start with you, Bill, and then we'll come over here and then end up talking with Brian a little more. Just kind of introduce yourselves, let the people that are watching from home know who you are, what brought you to this point in your career. Like you just mentioned how long you've been here, but just kind of talk a little bit about your career and your family and those kind of things.
Well, absolutely. You know what, I'm a local guy. Grew up actually down on the reservation, went to grade school, junior high, so I was a 7-mile Wildcat and a White River Rough Rider, junior high Rough Rider, but graduated from Blue Ridge, you know, so I locally knowing the communities, ended up going away to school, graduated from NAU, came back, started working on ski patrol, have really worked in a lot of departments at the resort, and just over time, obviously, as you mentioned, loving this area. It's always been nice. Got married I'm an old dad, so I got married in my mid-30s, and have a beautiful wife, Candy, and some great kids, 3 kids, Alex, Coy, and Marley. And one's a freshman, one's a junior high, and one's a police detective. So between the 3 of them, we keep everybody balanced. But just loving the resort, loving the mountain life, and I think that's what keeps us here.
All right. Thank you. And Brian?
You know, I grew up in Southern California, kind of one of those guys that would hang out on the beach. I don't want to call myself a valley guy, but pretty close. And enjoyed that, but always spent time in the mountains. My family always camped and hiked and boat, so it wasn't too long before I picked up skiing. Actually, kind of later, after junior high, we'd go to the local mountains, and I'd start working there as a volunteer patroller, then a paid patroller. And as I went through college, and I did some of my schooling down in Southern California, and actually finished up at Fresno State in Central California, and was hired on as a position as a general manager up there. But like Bill, not too different. I met my wife Lisa, and have 3 kids. They're the love of my life and the pain in my butt at the same time. You know, Talden, who's actually
you meant the kids, right?
I think that's right, not my wife.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
she watches out for me.
Let's clarify that, because I know she's watching.
Smart man.
Yeah. Good man. Good man.
Been married a while.
Yeah, but celebrated my 25th anniversary here last week up here, so that was kind of fun. But my oldest is involved in the ski business too, and actually manages terrain parks for, and he's done that in Utah where he was going to school, and now back in Central California. I have a daughter, Marina, who's very involved in racing, worked with youth racing groups at various mountains, and halfway through college, and might even be coming to Arizona here in the spring, possibly because of his influence up to NAU. And then my craziest one is a 17-year-old who spends most of his time skiing upside down because he likes to jump and do all those type of things. And the mountain life has just been a passion for me. I just love being up there. It's an opportunity to do something that you enjoy and service guests is just an unbelievable rewarding experience. So I feel fortunate to come here and then get to enjoy it again.
All right, and as we recording this program, you've been on the job officially.
Oh, I guess it's maybe 3 days, I think. I'm not totally sure yet.
Long enough that it was still hard to turn off the company cell phone. He didn't know where the button was
This
yet.
is true.
That's
This
correct,
is true.
yes.
Well, that's good.
Well, why don't you, I know that many of us are interested in what's your background in
Sure.
being a GM for Sunrise?
Yeah. You know, like I said, I started down in Southern California just as a volunteer patroller with the National Ski Patrol, and I think I was only 16 or 17 when I did that, and very quickly became a professional patroller. And for us, that meant getting all the qualifications up to including blaster's license for doing avalanche work and advanced search and rescues using helicopters and stuff. So really enjoyed that, and yet, being a business management major, I really wanted to be in the business end of it. So I was fortunate to be hired by a resort down in Southern California, but quickly there was an opportunity where Snow Summit Ski Corp, one of the large multi-resort owners in Southern California, had purchased a resort in Southern California, and they were looking for to move some people up there. And I was fortunate to be hired and go up there and actually started in their purchasing department as a way just to work in, and then after a few short years became the administrative manager. And it was an area very similar in size to Sunrise, and even had some of the similar struggles they're going through now, just with, you know, really finding their image and who they are, and getting caught up on some things that really needed to be caught up on, because it was a resort that had struggled for many years getting, you know, maintenance done and finding its identity in marketing. So I enjoyed the administrative job. It included a lot of marketing and working with all the employees, which is a very big part of any resort. I mean, it involves around the employees, and that's keeping them happy, but also getting the most out of them. And of course, risk management and many other things. The resort had what I think was probably one of the nicest things, was a large company supporting it. So even though it wasn't a financial support, we had a tremendous amount of training that we were able to get from them on all the type of activities that are very important to the ski industry. It's kind of a niche market, a niche industry. There's some things you can do in the ski industry you could never do maybe in a conventional business, but I think there's a little bit of an anything goes or give it a try type atmosphere in the ski industry, and Snow Summit Ski Corp allowed me that opportunity to learn, get support, but also try some new things to see if they were going to be successful. And when I became the general manager of Sierra Summit, I think it was 2001 or something like that, it was an area that had the possibility to either succeed or fall off the map, you know, and with a little support from them, we were able to really find what our brand was, really find where we fit in the ski industry, because there's a lot of competition out there. Even at Sunrise, you may think it's so far away, but there's competition among other sports and other activities and other interests. So we were able to define that and become very family oriented, very youth driven, and over the next 10 years succeeded in becoming one of the marquee resorts in Central California, and performing financially consistently very well for years and years. So you know, a lot of compliments to Snow Summit for giving me the opportunity, but also giving me the opportunity to fail and learn from that. Mm-hmm. So it's an area, since then, it was kind of funny, the area was sold. I stayed on and transitioned with the new owner, and it was the right thing for the time. The corporation's changing down there. It's a large corporation, it does over 1 million skiers a year. For many years, we were one of the top 10 ski resorts, ski industry leaders in the nation, and that's cool. That's cool, and because you're on the cutting edge. So to be on the cutting edge of lift development, youth marketing, terrain parks, great experience, and enjoyed it.
So with such a successful background, what led you to coming to Sunrise?
You know, since then, I've done some consulting work, worked with many skiers of similar size or even smaller. And I enjoy that. I enjoy going into a resort, just listening and seeing what people are doing, and maybe giving them some ideas of, hey, have you thought of this, or what works? And everybody's doing something right. Sunrise is doing a lot of things right. They have a beautiful mountain here with some nice facilities. And what brought me here was that opportunity to get back hands-on. It's nice to sit and write policies and procedures and do inspections, but there's nothing like, I mean, when it started making snow yesterday, I mean, I was ready. You know, I wanted to be up there, part of it, hands-on, working with the guys. And that's what Sunrise brings. And I think it's needed. It's not a position for even Bill's position or a food and beverage. You're maybe a manager or a director, but you're a worker, hands-on, being side by side with employees. And that's what Sunrise brought to me, was that opportunity, versus maybe going to a larger resort where you were more an office person. I can't see myself doing that consistently, though it's nice when it's really cold or windy out or something.
Right.
There's times it's nice. Bill had a really nice office. I took his office.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Now you're out in the snow, so to speak.
That's right. And no, actually, I'm just right downstairs. So it's all good.
It's all good.
I'm curious, if I may, Donna Faye.
Jump right in.
You've been here 20 years, and
Right.
you've been here 3 days. So I'm guessing you're finding that Bill has a wealth of institutional historical knowledge that you can then, you know, with your new ideas and whatnot, combine with what he can tell you has happened over the last 20 years to then format a plan as a team going forward to help take Sunrise to the next level.
It is. You have some great assets in people like Bill. These are the people that have been the glue that's held the place together, that have done many good things through good times and bad. And these are the people that are special in the ski industry, and every resort has them. You know, and what I hope to do is maybe bring, you know, some new ideas that, hey, have you tried this? Because when you've done something for a long time, you get comfortable at it, and the industry's changing very quick. And I'm excited about that part of it. But you need that person that has that grassroots-based knowledge and is waiting for somebody to support them. And, you know, my goal is actually to get behind these guys and support them in doing what they do already, but maybe putting a little bit of a different perspective on it. Heavily driven towards guest service probably, and maybe a little bit more towards some financial opportunities that will come with it. So, you know, I mean, to me, taking the job, part of it was because Bill was there interviewing for it. You know, I knew there were people there that cared, that loved the area. If you don't have that, it's pretty hard to start from scratch.
Correct. Now, Bill, can we talk a little bit about what it is exactly that you do there at the park, and
You know, I work
how that
with-
relates to what Brian now does?
Oh, absolutely, and it's kind of a lot of the same stuff, the overall operations. I mean, you look at Sunrise, and we've got some great supervisors, department heads that really are the ones that are key. Great, you know, it all starts with our staff. And so right now we're actively working on that, just trying to get our team together. Man, it is a team. I know you coach. It's very similar to that. And that's what Brian brings as well, is from a leadership perspective, bringing this group together and really putting our season together. Now unfortunately, we'd love to have had him here earlier. It'll be much better next year because he won't hit the ground running with us. But again, as he mentioned, just his insight, it's going to be very helpful. But, you know, it's everything from snowmaking to food and beverage to parking lots, making sure they're cleared. It's everything that it takes to get this resort open, and it's everybody working together, same plan.
And you're already making snow.
We did. You know, we started yesterday, as Brian had mentioned, and you know, it's noisy. You know, when you come by there, you definitely hear it, probably before you see it. But you know, mentally, I think even before, you know, you see this weather change, and I think people start to, you know, get into this late season panic, where hopefully you see a sense of urgency, and we're still trying to get some stuff done that, you know, it's definitely a pressure driven. Right now, it's an important time of year for us.
Yeah.
So I think that leads to another question, in the sense that there's a lot of us who don't know what it takes to get a large enterprise like that functioning and ready for the first day. So what are some of those things that you do to get the organization up and running for first day?
You mean you don't just say, hey,
like-
it snowed last night, let's turn on the lift?
All right.
Yeah.
It snowed,
Yeah.
turn on the lift.
That would be nice, right?
You know, I think the perspective I'm going to bring, and I think that is when you close the door in spring, you're basically opening the door the next day for winter. It starts that soon. And I think some resorts get comfortable and saying, oh boy, we're off for the next 3 months. But when you think about marketing activities, maintenance activities, they really start the day you close. And some of these things these guys have been working on very hard all summer, some get pushed back to the last minute, and that's where you're, rushing to get things done. But every lift has to be gone through, every piece of equipment needs to be at least serviced or checked. And then you start working with probably the most important aspect, and that's the people. And I haven't been part of it a lot this year, but they've been interviewing and hiring, and I think the staff is close to 400 or more people, and then it's going to be getting them processed and trained out there so they can do the job. And I hope we can bring a little bit more of service orientation into that, where it's more than just a job. It's actually something that a little bit of them can come out in the job too, because the ski industry can be fun, and that's the best part about it. And if it can become more than a job, I think they'll enjoy it. But to make all these pieces of equipment work, it takes a tremendous amount of behind-the-scenes people, and that's what's happening right now. And in some respects, I like to start snowmaking as soon as we can, because it puts that sense of urgency out there. It's like, hey, it's happening, we're winter, and yet it's a beautiful sunny day down here in Pine Top or something like that, and it stirs the emotions of the people down in Phoenix when you show them a shot of snow. And for anybody that's a skier or a snowboarder, you know what I mean. It's like, all right, yeah, ski season, cool. So, and I know Bill has a lot more as far as the prep work, what it takes, but philosophically and emotionally, that's a lot of what skiing's about, and building that into the staff,
Absolutely. And I think, as he mentioned, that was it. We had holding job fairs, trying to make sure we have our staff in place, and then really putting together schedules, making sure everybody's on the same page. And I think we're definitely actively working to be ready for the upcoming season.
I commend you on the philosophy that you both have on it being about service and making people want to know that it's more than a job. I'll give you an example. A couple months ago, early September, my wife and I, along with my aunt and uncle, had occasion to go up to Provo, Utah, and went up there for a weekend, a ball game, and get away, go to a college football game, and took an opportunity on Friday, the day before the football game, to go up to Sundance. And we went and rode the lift to the top. Sure. What a beautiful day. But we commented and talked about while we were there how enthusiastic the employees working there on, it's basically still the summer lift operation going on. Right. They were all extremely friendly, extremely helpful. We talked to them. Oh yeah, I work here full time, year round. I do this the summer. I do this in the winter. I love it here. And I mean, it made. I'm not a skier myself.
We won't hold it against you.
Please.
Well,
don't.
Yet.
Could
hurt you down the line.
You're right. But I remember commenting to my wife, employees like that make me want to come back.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And because they when you get treated like that, you do want to come back, whether it's in the spring, the fall, the summer, the winter, whenever. It makes you want to come back to that organization and be a part of it. So the more you can push that, the more I know you're going to be successful.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a great observation and very true. Hopefully they weren't playing USU. My son went to school there, so.
No, actually, my son just graduated from Utah State a year ago, played football there, so it's kind of back to my roots, which would be, they're playing Texas. And It was a butt kicking. Awesome. BYU put it to him, so it was all a great weekend, all in all. So yeah.
Icing on the cake.
It always comes down to football. And
I just when he said pro, I was going, oh man, my son went to USU and Logan. It's like, wait a minute here.
So did mine. but yeah, there's not one thing in life that can be directly related to football.
That's good to know.
He just said they're getting ready to kick off their ski season.
That's right.
What do you think he meant by that?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So when we're looking at kicking off the ski
season,
season, what are some of the things that we can look forward to?
I want to let Bill kind of go over the new pass system there. It's very innovative, and I think not only the board, but Bill has spent a lot of time on it, and maybe hit on that. Please.
So I think from a structure standpoint, we're changing kind of the way we price and the way we operate. What we are introducing is going to be a new point of sale system, and what that will allow is direct to lift capabilities by our customers, which means they can buy a card, a pass, basically. And even if it's only for a day, they can save money with it, not only in their lift ticket purchases, but also in the sports shops and the restaurants, whatever. A little bit of a discount for them. It also allows them to go direct to lift, so you don't have to stand in lift lines. If, for example, you have the ability to tie it to your credit card, so then when you go to the lift, we scan your pass, it's going to bill you for the ticket. So you no longer have to wait in line to get your ticket. It'll also mean if you're at home, for example, and you don't buy the season's pass, you can add days, you can add dollars. So you're sending your child up, you know, and if your kids are like my kids, they're going to lose money, they're going to whatever, but at least you could put money on their pass to where when they go into the restaurants, it's good for buying meals, anything else they need. And I think, so those are components that we're very excited about because, as Brian had mentioned, it is going to be very customer friendly. I think we're trying to add value to the customer, to our customers, let them know how much we appreciate them, but also make it easier for them. We want to try to minimize some of the stuff you have to do, you know, the line at the ticket, the line at the lift. You can go direct to lift, get up on the mountain, enjoy it, and that's really what it's about. He talked about it being a fun sport. It's great family fun, and when you've been out there, some of the best conversations I've had have been on a chairlift with my children. Yeah. And I think those are the things that really resonate, and I think for us as employees, we know that, and we want to make sure that our customers experience it.
No, that's so true, and that piece, you know, is something of a bigger picture where, you know, now when you have those services and they go to a ski school thing, what more can we provide them? You know, how can we have better instructors with better lessons, teaching classes that are more friendly, you know? And that may sound small, but that's where most new skiers start. You know, do we have enough equipment in our rental shop so that nobody gets turned away? And those are things we're working on for right now for this year. You know, it's hard to come in and put a whole new face on the area with new lifts and everything. And of course, that's what everybody wants to see. But there's so many things we can do right now just by making it a friendlier situation when they come to a food service facility, or you know, maybe the product's there that maybe it wasn't always there last year or something like that. And I hope what we're going to see this year is just you know, a brighter side to maybe something that, you know, people may have had. Gosh, I went there and there was always this line at this lift. So working with the lift maintenance crews and the lift operators, what can we do to change with scheduling, staffing to improve that? So there always is going to be lines in the ski business. I think that's where you met half your friends too.
That's right.
You know, but how can we do it to minimize it, but also open up new opportunities? And that can be through foods or restaurants or whatever.
Very good. We've only got just about 4 minutes left on the program. Just another question along those lines.
Sure.
Anything in the works as far as new events or additional events, whether they be winter or summer events, to try to draw people to the mountain? Obviously, as goes sunrise and as goes at least the snowfall, so goes the economy here in the White Mountains. And so we're you know, as a leader here in the White Mountains on the board, and also a business owner for many years, I love it when you start to feel that starts snow, people start coming.
Yes.
And, you know, and you've been here in those winters when it's not snowing. You see on all the marquees at all the motels, pray for snow. I mean, we all recognize that we need that. But I'm just curious if there's anything additional to just praying for the snow that you guys have in the plan to try to draw people up here to your mountain.
Well, I think it's why we're doing what we're doing right at the moment. We can plan, you know, pretty much by this Thanksgiving to have some activities up there. It may be limited skiing, it may be snow tubing, but definitely the sports shop's going to be open where you can buy, you know, soft goods for Christmas, new clothing, gloves, or something like that. The restaurant will be open. It may be open 3, 4, 5 days. It'll depend, but we're already planning on giving you something, you know, and that goes for not only the hotel. You know, there's opportunities there where we can do events. And I think they did some great ones working with some of the hunting groups.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's endless, you know, from different clubs to business things that can use those type of facilities. And everything goes to helping the community. I mean, and it's, you know, it's a partnership that what we can do to bring that excitement to the community. And you know, why it was so important for me yesterday, just to make sure they saw that picture of us making snow, because that already people will say, hey, maybe we should think about making a reservation in town for Thanksgiving, because, you know, at least the kids can go up there and play in the snow. They may not be able to ski everything, but at least there'll be something for them to do.
They're already thinking about ordering a pizza when they come skiing.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. Yeah. So I think it'll be a great ski season, one that we're all looking forward to. You know, whether you're going to hang out in the bar, take your kids on the bunny hill, your kids on the bunny hill, or go see Chef Nephi and have a special table prepared for you. All of those things that we're all looking forward to. So we appreciate the work that you do for our community, as we all know that the enterprise is not only important to the White Mountain Apache tribe, but surrounding communities. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome.
We appreciate it.
Look forward to the winter.
We appreciate you being here on the program today. Donna Fay and I work together on the Board of Supervisors, but Donna Fay is tied very closely, of course, between the Board of Supervisors and the Apache tribe. And so much of what happens here on our mountain is because of the beautiful assets that the Apache tribe has, whether it be the summertime fishing, the fall time hunting, the winter with the skiing. And so certainly the partnerships between the tribe and the cities and the towns and the county and all the businesses is a very, very important partnership. So we appreciate what you both bring to the table there, and I look forward to a very successful season.
Well, thank you.
And I don't just mean ski season, football season too, right?
Well, I tell you what, obviously over on this side of town, Show Low, I mean, we talked about Pine Top, but Show Low, it's an exciting year in football and expecting some big things.
You know what, I fully expect 2 mountain teams in the championship game. That's football to me, when there's 2 of them in that game.
It reflects well on all our communities.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you very much for being here. Anything else you would like to say, Donna Fay, before we sign off?
No, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time, and it's great to meet with you.
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity. It's awesome.
All right, thanks again. Folks, we appreciate you joining us on Navajo County Connection. We want to thank Mel West and his staff here at City 4 Television and all the people here at the City of Show Low for letting us use their facilities. They're always great to work with. And thank you for joining. We'll catch you next time on Navajo County Connection. Have a good day.